Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today there is some more information about the firing of Gina Carano from, Star Wars in general, not just The Mandalorian. Some new information came forward over the course of the last several days in this new report from The Hollywood Reporter, and I was unsure if I even wanted to make another video because, to be honest, I've made my opinion very clear about this matter. I have not been hiding that at all. So if you saw my last video about this, then you pretty much know exactly what my stance is on this whole thing. And, nothing about the actual facts have changed. Gina Carano is still gone. She's not coming back. Any rumors out there from, random ass YouTubers wearing masks who are like, oh, she's coming back. Like, no, sorry, Doomcock. She's not coming back. It's over. But we do have a little bit more insight into some specific details as to the when, the where, the what. So if you're interested in knowing more, we can go through this together. There is a couple pieces of information that are pretty interesting. But if you're done with this subject and you're just like, you know what, it's over, it happened, I'm ready to move on with my life, I completely understand that. So you can go ahead and click off this video right now. Or I'm assuming you never clicked it to begin with. In any case, let's go ahead and go through this. We'll talk about what new information we actually learned. And yeah, this covers a couple things, not stuff that was like exclusive to this article, but stuff that's kind of come out over the, ever since the news initially dropped. So first, the move to cut ties had been brewing for some time. In the months leading up to the Disney Investors Day presentation on December 10th, Carano's agents at UTA were negotiating for the actress to receive a sizable bump for a planned spin-off of Disney Plus The Mandalorian that was to star her fan-favorite character Cara Dune. The actress, who sources say made $25,000 to $50,000 per episode of The Mandalorian, was poised to be touted during the presentation, in which Kathleen Kennedy announced 10 new Star Wars shows, including Rangers of the New Republic, a series that seemed tailor-made for Carano. And, like everyone had, like they just said, that show very much seems pretty clear that that was going to be the show for her character. It seemed pretty obviously set up for Cara Dune in season 2. But Carano was nowhere to be found during the lengthy presentation. In the lead up to the event, Carano had become a lightning rod among Star Wars fans and a headache for Lucasfilm over a series of tweets, mocked mask wearing, voter fraud, all that stuff, transphobic comments. She was originally in that presentation when they announced all those things, and then they pulled her off of it, a source tells Hollywood Reporter. Okay, so that is one of several things that we've learned since the actual thing is that she was supposed to be in that presentation, and it definitely seems like she was supposed to be the lead of Rangers of the New Republic. What that does for Jon Favreau's plans, I don't know. We'll talk about him in just a moment. 2 months later, the deal of her spin-off is dead, as is her relationship with Lucasfilm and UTA, both of whom dropped her after she shared a post suggesting that being a Republican today was akin to being a Jewish in the time leading up to the Holocaust. UTA is her talent agency. It is basically, having a contract with a talent agency is essentially what makes you a professional actor. Once you don't have any representation in the acting world anymore, you're basically not a professional actor. Like you can still be hired on individually, but you don't have representation anymore. You don't have an agent. So it's kind of like where the word professional comes in is when you have that representation. So it's kind of interesting. Let's see. Still, Disney's decision to show Carano the door has prompted cries from the right, including Ted Cruz. Yeah, the other thing, and Ben Shapiro. So yeah, of course, she is now going to be in a Ben Shapiro movie, which I think the majority of people kind of say, okay, that's like a joke, because it's like, who's gonna watch this thing? Like 1,000 people, who have signed up for Ben Shapiro's was it the Daily Wire? Is that what it is? But who's almost no one's gonna see this thing. She went from the most streamed, most successful series in the world, streaming wise, to some Ben Shapiro movie that no one's gonna watch, you know. So if you want to try and take that as some kind of like, haha, I'm not dead yet, it's like, I mean, it kind of means your career's dead. If that's how far you fell. Anyways, so here's where it gets really interesting. The decision to banish Carano from the Disney Kingdom went higher than Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau and was made by Lucasfilm executives. Okay, so that right there alone is interesting, because we've had for months and months all of these crazy people on YouTube going like, Kathleen Kennedy's not involved with the Mandalorian, has no control over anything anymore. There's this huge civil war going on inside Lucasfilm, all of this stuff, right? But that's always been ridiculous by the simple fact, and this proves it, Kathleen Kennedy is very much in charge, whether you like her or not. She absolutely has control over the Mandalorian. If she wanted to, she could very much go in there, and as you've seen, she can fire anybody. She could fire Jon Favreau from his own show. She can do that. That's how much power over him that she has. So this idea that she's not involved, or that there's some kind of epic civil war that she's like not allowed on the set or something like that, that's always been like the stupidest rumor. Because if you had like half a brain, you're like, no, she is literally the president of the company. She can go in there and do whatever she wants. So anyways, that alone should completely dispel that, and anyone who has ever said that as any sort of legitimate rumor. Kathleen Kennedy is in charge. There's no debating that. Anyways, let's move on. Carano, sources say, had repeatedly been warned by those around her about her social media behavior, with the actress even noting publicly in September that her Mandalorian co-star Pedro Pascal, who has a trans sibling, educated her about the use of pronouns after a social media flare-up. She knew it was going to alarm people, says one person in her orbit of her recent post. Why would you put Favreau in that position? Okay, that is another interesting thing right there, is because a lot of people, you know, especially people who got upset about Gina being fired, they took it as like this very sudden thing that Disney did. It's like, but no. If you consistently, over months and months, you keep on doing the thing, definitely she was warned, obviously, and she was told what's gonna happen if she keeps on doing this, and she kept on doing it anyways. Gina Carano is not a victim in this situation that she was like, oh, I'm being censored by whatever. It's like, no, you are an employee whose employers have said, hey, you're giving our business a bad look. Can you stop? And you were told that several times, and you kept on doing it, thinking that, what, nothing was gonna happen? That's my thing, is that like a lot of people are are treating Gina Carano like she's a victim of the situation. She created the situation. If she had stopped months ago, she'd still be working, you know? That's the thing about it, is like, she was not fired because of the views that she holds, which I think she should have been. She was fired because they told her to stop something and she didn't. That's why she was fired. Okay, let's be real about that. Anyways, let's keep going. Carano's ouster had a domino effect, with Hasbro ending production on its popular Cara Dune action figures. Hasbro says there are no current plans to create more Dune products. Amazon appears to have pulled most of its Cara Dune toy merchandise. When asked why, an Amazon rep declined further comment. Meanwhile, the Dune action figures are seeing brisk sales on eBay at prices well above the original list prices. Yeah, that's the other thing. Okay, so as they just said, the Cara Dune figures, they're not being made anymore. You know, I'm sure that has a lot to do with, you know, likeness. You know, you get what's royalties? That's the word I'm looking for. You get likeness royalties for toys and merchandise that has your face on it, even if it's the face of the character. You know, it's your actor, you're the face, right? So you get royalties for all that merchandise, and it's clear that Lucasfilm has basically put a stop to that, saying, hey, no more of that, right? That's basically why, it's because it has her face on it. Now about these prices on eBay going up, that's a lot of collector stuff happening, because basically once you say that a certain toy is not going to be made anymore, especially if it's like an entire character, then the prices are going to shoot way up. This happened with Slave Leia, when they announced that the Slave Leia from Return of the Jedi was not going to be created anymore in merchandising products, which if you've noticed, it hasn't been. The Black Series Slave Leia figure went way up in eBay prices. Go check eBay right now. I bet you a Slave Leia is probably like $80 or something, if not more. And it's just that same thing of like, hey, this one character is not going to be around anymore. So regardless of your opinion of the situation, if you're a collector, you're going to be like, oh, well, let me grab one right now, because no one's going to have that shit anymore. So years from now, when people are like, oh, hey, do you have that one obscure character who showed up for 2 seasons of that show? Yeah, I do. And no one else has that shit, you know? So that's basically what happens. And that's the other thing, is that just like the Ben Shapiro movie, a lot of people defending Gina Carano are trying to take the fact that her sale or toy sales on eBay is some kind of win. No. The fact that those sales are going up is basically the ultimate sign of like, hey, this is never going to be seen again. This is over. That's what that means. That means that this is now a rare commodity. This went from being something that you could find on the shelves because it's a reoccurring character and a character that they'll make more toys of, to something that is gone. So if anything, this is just further confirmation that she ain't coming back. That's over. Okay, so, you know, they talk more about Lucasfilm and the John Boyega situation and the Kelly Marie Tran situation, which I have made videos about in the past. And basically it ended... Well, at some point in here... Oh, here we go. But expect that the character will be recast down the road. Now, the reason I want to bring up that part specifically is because they actually have recanted that part since releasing this article. For some reason it doesn't show up on the desktop version, it only shows up on the mobile version of this article. I don't know why, but in any case, I have it right here. An updated to add a Lucasfilm source saying that Cara Dune role on The Mandalorian is not expected to be recast. So originally they were saying that they expect her to be recast down the road for both for story and merchandising reasons, but now they've taken that back, saying no, she's not. You know, once again, just along with the toys and the fact that she's now moved on to Ben Shapiro, she's not coming back. The character, it seems, is not coming back either. Which I think a lot of people are happier with that option, because that became like kind of the conversation for a while, was like, do you recast or do you just move on? And it feels like, at least if this update is correct, they're just gonna move on. They're just gonna, you know, season 3 of Mandalorian starts and she's just not there. They don't mention her name, they don't say anything about her, and they just move on. Like, it really is that easy. That's the thing, is that they, you know, a lot of people make these jokes about Poochie from The Simpsons, how he was like a famous character, and they made this joke from Itchy and Scratchy where they introduce a new character just to get the sales up, but then that character doesn't end up going anywhere, so they just very like you know, in a very silly manner, they just literally just like, they take him out of frame and they're like, oh, he went away back to his planet. But they don't even have to do that. They don't have to mention her at all. They could literally just, she just doesn't come back. She's never mentioned. It's like the character she forgot. And that seems to be the direction that they're heading. So no more merchandise, no more, you know, she's not going to be in the Rangers of the New Republic. She's not going to be recast, it seems. And yeah, that's basically the closing chapter of this. Now, you know, this is part of the reason why I kind of hesitated to even make this video, was because a lot of people are ready to move on. They're ready, like, all right, this is going to be the conversation for people who want to have ammunition against Lucasfilm or the left or whatever they're like, this culture war that they're fighting. You know, a lot of people are going to like try to keep this in the conversation as long as possible. They're going to try to draw this out. But honestly, this feels like a pretty definitive ending for both her as an actor and the character. Like if this is really what's happening and they're just like, no more Cara Dune toys, no more, they're not going to recast. Because if you recast, that would have just brought in the drama again. I'm fine with it story wise. I'm able to just ignore whoever's playing the character and just, pay attention to the story. But it definitely would have ignited yet another round of the drama of like, oh, here's another actor, here's the recast, and there's going to be endless comparisons. So maybe it is just the smarter move to, she just doesn't exist anymore. They're just not going to ever mention her again. Which again would make her toy on eBay worth even more, because it's like, oh, this character never showed up again. Very rare toy, So yeah, anyways, that seems to be what's happening right now. Let me know what you guys think about all this. Are you okay with them just ignoring her and not recasting? And just, are you ready to be done with this? Is this like the last video you ever want to see about Gina Carano's situation and her and all the stuff that she was saying and all those people who are angry online and trying to defend her and all that stuff? Are you ready to move on? Because I feel like I'm ready to move on. I felt like there was just enough information here to like, okay, fine, I can make a video about this, but I think that's it, right? What else do we need to know? Like she's gonna do her own thing. She's gonna end up on who knows, with the guy who played Hercules back in the 90s. He's gonna be making those Christian movies with him or something. That's pretty much it. Like she's done, the character's done. We can move on with Star Wars and we can just talk about that again. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys feel, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.